So Gear 6 and Gear 7 have both been confirmed at this point by Rod Ferguson, the studio head over at the Coalition. But there's a but to that, in my opinion. So we're going to say Gear 6 and Gear 7 have been confirmed, but it very well could be canceled if the support of the game isn't there. So let's talk about that a little bit. Gear 6 and Gear 7, they've been confirmed by Rod Ferguson as a new trilogy for Gears of War. But if there's no support for Gears of War, or limited support, the player base isn't necessarily growing, it's more so just kind of a number of casual gamers that'll get on there and play. Obviously, Gears has a very strong community, but it's a community at times that complains about everything. And of course, I'm not going to say that the Gears community is the only one. The Call of Duty community and Fortnite community and so on and so forth. But here's the difference. Call of Duty is a massive game that is the best-selling game every single year. Fortnite absolutely took the gaming industry by storm. The complaining is there with those games, but there's such a huge player base that it almost doesn't matter. It matters, but it's one of those things that they can get away with it. Let's put it that way. With Gears of War as a niche game right now, which we are certainly going to be trying to get that narrative turned around here in the future for Gears of War. Right now, it's known as a niche game. And when you are a niche game and there's a lot of complaining and a lot of, yelling on Twitter or, through whatever social media platform at the Coalition, those are things that are demoralizing to a developer. The Coalition, guys, has done something for us that is unlike... let me put it to you like this. The Coalition resurrected a franchise that was in limbo. It was in limbo, guys. Epic Games wasn't doing anything with Gears of War, and if Epic Games still owned it, probably still wouldn't have really much going on with it, because Fortnite is their focal point. The Coalition did something for this community that I think is going very much so under the radar to people in the community. Whether that be casual players, pro players, whatever. They put together a continuation and a path forward of the franchise. They are the main ones to thank. And we can also, of course, say Xbox and Microsoft, of course. There's no debate about that. But the Coalition has created a franchise that has the groundwork of a juggernaut of a franchise. One of the biggest out there. I'm not going to say that it could be, as big as Call of Duty or as big as Fortnite. But it certainly can have its place in esports and in gaming. There's no debate about that. Gear 6 and Gear 7 have been confirmed, but if that complaining continues and people leave the game, the developers are going to see that. The publisher, as in Microsoft, is going to see that. And they may say, well, let's hold off on Gear 6. Yeah, let's not even talk about Gear 7. Because this community, I don't know if they're just complaining about everything. And it's, of course, it's like human nature, right? If something's wrong with the game, you want to talk about it, right? But I think there's a way in which we can do those things. Sometimes I feel that people don't think that the developers are listening. And sure, maybe some developers don't. But the Coalition is listening. You can just tell by the moves forward that they're making, the changes that they're making, the things that they're trying to do. Some things, guys, they're going to have their hands tied because of the higher-ups at Microsoft. Like the store, for example. Listen to me. Guys, I understand the whole thing with microtransactions. People are very bothered by it. It bothers me as well if they are, deceptive as to, the consumer, like a pay-to-win mentality. But there's nothing like that, right? Obviously, things are overpriced. But guess what? Gears of War is a franchise in which if we want to see the continued production of this franchise, they need to be making money, okay? Whether that's by selling skins or whatever the case might be. But the operations and things of that nature give us something to grind for. Sure, is it too grindy? Well, obviously the Coalition has certainly heard that as well. Gear 6 and Gear 7 is confirmed, but it's going to go into limbo if we as a community don't come together and talk about these things in a civilized manner as well as with the Coalition. We have to have a friendship with them. They are the ones who are creating the games for us, okay? And with this niche community and niche game, we have got to be the ones that are showing our support for the franchise and game that we love. Should we be giving them, backlash on things? Sure. I mean, we can of course give our criticisms, but don't go to the extent of demoralizing the Coalition who are working so hard to make these games. I think they're doing a hell of a job. A hell of a job. Period. End of discussion. They are absolutely doing a phenomenal job at creating stories that we're going to remember. They're doing a great job at even just, updating the game. Sure, is it taking some time? Yeah, but this is a process. Understand that process, guys. They're doing things in a timely manner, okay? And with the new operations that are, and the future operations that come out, consistently making the experience better is obviously something that we want. We want something that's going to do that. Make a better experience, make it more enjoyable so that people will grind. But they're obviously listening. Operation 2 included free-for-all. Are there problems with it? Well, look, at least we got it, okay? We got it. And the thing about it is that whether there's problems in future updates, whatever the case might be, they can, of course, fix those things, okay? So I just really want to stress to the community, let's be patient. Talk about these things in a civil manner. Let's talk about these things with the developers. Let's voice our concerns, our criticisms, and our praises of things that they're doing right, wrong, and what they can do better moving forward. Because we as a community are not at fault. We as a community need to be creating more content around these games. We need to be the ones streaming more. And like I said, this all comes back to we have to take equal responsibility. The developers can only do so much. As far as the esports scene is concerned, the developers obviously need to do things that are going to help the scene as well. As far as, really promoting the esports scene. But that's a process as well, So I'm just saying, we as a community need to show our support. We need to voice our concerns, but, do it in a civil manner. These are human beings as well working at the Coalition, and they brought this game back from the grave. They brought these games, this franchise back from a place of just, complacency or, a place of nothingness, of limbo. And it's here because of them and Microsoft taking another chance on it. So thank them, guys. Go on Twitter. Talk to Node Zero and talk to Rod Ferguson. Reach out to those guys. Say thanks, man. Hey, by the way, there's still, some issues here and there, with the game. There are some things that are kind of, bothering me about the game, and, shotguns are too OP right now, or, whatever it might be. Say those things, but also give credit where credit is due.